Meet me. Welcome back, boys. I've been getting so many messages on Discord to do this. I didn't think this banner would trip people up that much. I wasn't thinking of doing a video about it, but I will now. By the way, I get a lot of DMs on Discord. I don't respond to a lot of guys. I'm sorry. It's just there's a lot of you, and I'm super lazy. So, the best thing to do is just put it in general on my Discord, and there's a bunch of great people out there who will get back to you. But for this, welcome to another episode of Should You Pull. We're going to go over today Choux, Sigret, and of course, ML Kawerik. We'll just deal with him before he's even in the rotation. So first of all, Choux. Should you pull for her? If you're a new player, no. No. I will say that being in Legend RTA, I do not run into her. Now, in the past, I used to run into her rarely, not often, but rarely, because some people liked using her as a Ravi counter, because she is kind of decent against Ravi. And near the end of last season, Ravi was rampant. She's kind of fallen off now because of things like Carrot, stuff like that, made Chloe. But yeah, that was pretty much the only time I ever saw her drafted. And I will say in the past like 100 matches of RTA, I have not seen her once. Her damage is okay. It's not the worst, but the rest of her kit is kind of like blah, like increased critical hit resistance, blah. It gives herself immunity. She does have health scaling like Alencia, but at the end of the day, if you're a new player, this is a very like, excuse me, niche unit, and you don't need something like this in your kit to succeed. And I can tell you most top players are not drafting her at all. So easy skip for this one. Sigret, do you need her? For PvP, no. No one uses her in PvP. If you're a super new player and you need an Arby counter in regular arena in Guild Wars, she still kind of works for that because you can have it so that she just S2s the Arby, or you could just extinct it. But like either way, it works. Just extinct the Arby, and if you really desperately need an Arby counter, you can use her as one. But other than that, I don't think very many people use her in PvP. In RTA, she's not. I've never seen Sigret drafted in RTA ever. But the thing about Sigret is we all know the most important thing in the game is, of course, boop, boop, Wyvern 13, right? At no point in this game will you stop doing Wyvern 13. Speed set is just too good. Every single hero in the game, if you don't know what to put them on, you just put them on speed set. Everything works on speed set except like a very small handful of heroes where you really want them to be on counter. In every other case, you want to be able to do a speed set and have a fast Wyvern team. And Sigret is the queen of Wyvern. She's the easiest hero to build for a one-shot Wyvern team. I know some people do it with, like, I think Blue Kisei. I don't even know if some people might do it with Blue Chloe, but in general, Sigret is best in slot for Wyvern 13. You don't even need to have a one-shot team. I was running her on a G-Purge team before. Before I decided to invest in a one-shot team, I was running General Purges, Sigret, Alexa, and Terranor Guard, I believe. And it worked just fine, but it was kind of on the slow end because the first wave was a little bit slow with all that single target DPS. But Sigret, if you don't have her, I really think you should try to build her, unless you're really bookmark starved and you really want to save up for the collabs. But the thing is, again, Wyvern is just so important in this game that you really want a solid Wyvern team. Like, I'd say no slower than 2.5 minutes. If it's slower than that, it's just going to take you forever to farm. So you should do something to make it faster. And there's no easier way to make it faster than to put a jacked up Sigret on your team. Alright, so I hope that answers Sigret. Let's move on to this. LQC, I think we already discussed. She's a very meta PvP unit right now, but you can check out my last video on her. You can get her if you want. She's very good in RTA right now. Mediator Kawerik. Should you pull? You saw my first impressions video probably, so yeah, I don't think he's going to be very great at all. I think he's okay. I think in certain drafts, actually, he'll be quite annoying because increased attack is huge. Like, I think people are dumping on this hero a little bit too much. A full cleanse plus attack buff plus immunity is actually a pretty solid kit. It's just not very interesting though, right? Because if you already have Ray or DJB built and stuff, people are looking all about the basically the full cleanse and immunity part of it. But the attack buff is a big component. Like, we all know why G-Purge is so popular. G-Purge would not be as popular if his S3 didn't give attack buff. The attack buff is absolutely huge because it allows you to go super offensive. With that said, do I think he's mandatory? Do I think he's going to rampage Legend RTA? No, I don't. But I will tell you that all top players are going to get him anyway. You know why? Because Smilegate is very good or very bad, depending on how you look at it, about protecting their ML5s. They don't like it when ML5s become dumpster tier, right? Think of all the heroes that were ML5s that no one really used, and then Smilegate intervened, and then they became meta heroes, like, DJB. He was dumpster unit. Now he's, I don't want to say rampant, but, he's a very decent counter pick. Tywin, no one used him, or very few people used him, and then he dominated the meta for like 2 seasons straight. This Flitica, I mean, a lot of ML5s have gotten the Smilegate treatment and went from Garbo tier to just becoming extremely meta units, and I feel like his kit itself is pretty strong. It wouldn't take a whole lot of changes to make him actually good. I feel like with his S3 being pretty amazing, actually, if they just fix this dumpster fire of an S2, because this is like a really garbage S2, I think. But imagine they like changed it to, I don't know, it stuns for 2 turns or something, and grants a thicker barrier or something like that. I think he would actually be pretty annoying. I think decreased attack is a really dumb debuff to put on this hero. It's probably a debuff that most people don't really care about all that much. But I mean, it makes sense in the grand scheme of his kit, which is like damage mitigation and recovery. But still, I feel like if he, either one of 2 things will happen. He actually is good when people start experimenting with him, which honestly I don't think is likely, but it is possible. And option 2, more likely, is he's barely used this season, and the next season we get a balanced patch that says, Mediator Kawerik, all his multipliers are increased 3x, and his S3 now does damage. Something like that. And then everyone's going to regret not pulling for him. So in general, if you have resources, pull on him, but as of right now, I don't think he's that important. If you're really on the fence, wait till week 3, see what the next ML5 is, and if it's something really killer that you want, like let's say, well, everyone gets free RB now, but let's say, I don't know, it was like a Tywin or something that you really wanted, then just wait till week 3, hold, and if the next one is something stupid that you don't want or you have a dupe of already, then you can pull for this. So let's summarize real quick. Choux, yay or nay? Nay. She's pretty garbage, just skip her. Sigret, yay or nay? Not very useful in PvP, but Wyvern is super important, so if you don't have a good Wyvern team, get Sigret, fix your Wyvern team, farm your life away, and you'll get better at this game. ML Kawerik, yay or nay? Nay. Just skip it, but just keep in mind that if he does end up being as bad as everyone expects him to be, he is going to be in line for a massive buff, and, if you skip him, you won't have him when that happens. So, that's just kind of like FOMO, but historically, that's what always happens to ML5s that aren't used. They become buffed, and then they become very strong. So, just be careful if you do decide to skip him. You might regret it in the future. So I hope that answers all your questions about these banners. For anyone who is going to pull, particularly for Sigret, best of luck. Make sure you join channel Nuts6887 to guarantee that you get it. And make sure you like and subscribe and all that other YouTube garbage if you want to see more should you pull videos. Thanks for watching. Till next time, boys. Peace out.